Everybody, welcome to the end of another week, and we have a new face on our panel. Al Foster joins us. He is our new-ish. I mean, we've been here with us for a few weeks, but coming out of the holidays, you're still our new sports reporter.
I am indeed.
Welcome, and he comes from the land of sunshine and lollipops. Al Foster doesn't say, I've never heard this guy say a bad thing.
He's basically from Oz.
Yeah, Gladstone, Manitoba. Happiest place on earth, right? So.
That's why he always has that smile on his face. How's everybody feeling?
I'm tired.
You okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I am fantastic.
Coming out, yeah.
Getting by.
Yeah? Coming out of the
You were
holidays?
so surprised, and I was like, good, what?
Well, mostly because she's lying, because before the cameras were on, we were looking at a picture of the sleep-deprived woman in the Huffington Post, and I believe you said, oh, it's like looking in the mirror.
A little bit, yeah.
You were dipped in bitter.
It's because I missed breakfast, so
It wasn't
day
sleep she
ruined.
missed. It was just nutrition.
All right, so you've missed breakfast, but did you get 6 hours of sleep? Because there was an article in the Huffington Post about what sleep deprivation can do to a person's body. So less than 6 hours every day for 1 week. 700 genes are affected in your body. And that's just 1 week.
Do you
right?
only need 6 hours? Is that it?
Well-
I've always been like over my adult
need
life.
more than 6
Yeah, that's the thing. I need way more than 6. I need like at
Yeah.
least like 8 to be productive, I think. 6 hours is I'm barely functioning at this point. So anything less than 6 hours for an entire week, I would be like borderline psychotic, I believe.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that it affects, right? It affects the psycho-emotional, like risk of stroke goes up like 4 times, diabetes risks, obesity risks. There's just this simple solution. It's called sleep.
But that can be very
We don't
hard
get
for
it.
people. It's easy to say get more sleep and stuff, but a lot of times people struggle with just falling asleep. It's hard. And a lot of times you don't know. Our producer, Jenna, she was telling us yesterday her mom was having a lot of health issues, and it took years and years and years to diagnose what was going on. She finally went to a sleep clinic, like last resort sort of thing, and they're like, you're waking up 19 times an hour. And she had no idea, and she has totally unconsciously doing that. So
I do that if I had a big gulp or something.
just for 2 hours and then you're
Yeah,
crashed.
and then I'm done because all that sugar goes away and the fluid.
Well, and the waking up thing, that's a huge part, and I believe that is the 6 hour thing, is that you need 6 hours in order to enter all of the different sleep
Stages
levels.
of sleep and then REM, of course.
That's
the REM
right.
sleep, if I remember from university, the most
And the
important
band.
part. Yes.
That didn't help.
Sleep's more important than band.
Just to share a little bit of personal experience, before I came to Shaw, I was hosting a morning show, co-hosting a morning show, which involved waking up at 3 to get to work for 4, and so on average, about 5 to 6 hours at night, and then come home and have a couple of hours, seemed to work, and it seemed to maintain.
In the short term, maybe.
Yeah, possibly, and it did maintain health to a certain degree, but. I still, especially now raising a teenager as well, my word, that 8 to 10 hours is so critical, I think, on so many different levels when it comes to performance at school, when it comes to his health. Yeah, and it's like concussions now too, isn't it? We're learning so much more about sleep. And I'm really interested to see where this goes in terms of, they talk about smart sleep. When is the best time and
Yeah, I had one of my parents' friends growing up. He was a doctor, and when he was studying for all of his tests, he would have these like power naps. But again, it's the timing wise. So if you sleep too long, then you're just groggy and you can't quite get out of it. But you get just enough that's enough to kind of give yourself a boost. And he would, I think he had his keys in his hand, and he would go to sleep with his hand out. And then as soon as he fell into that next level stage where he would let go of the keys. He would wake up, and then he knew that the alarm.
I was like, this is terrifying.
No, he just then it would hit the ground, and he would wake up, and he's like, okay, that's the end of the nap, right?
No, sounds like a sequel to Inception right there.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
What a movie.
I read a book called The Way You Wear Your Hat, and it was kind of an autobiography of Frank Sinatra, and they talk about how Frank never slept. All he would do is take 10-minute power naps,
Right.
and then he died. But that's like
He had a pretty successful
He had a
career.
he did
though.
well
He
for
died
a
in his,
while.
like, 70s or
but
80s, I
but
think,
yeah,
right?
he went for a long time, and he said everyone that hung out with him, he didn't let any of them sleep. It would literally be if you went home early because you're like, no, I'm exhausted, he would show up at your house and bring you back.
With
But, I mean-
some bourbon.
Yes, but they're not. I mean, they're also not living everyday lives, right?
Yeah.
Like it's It's not. I don't know how hard it is, but you're just singing in a club for a little bit, and then you go home, and then you're out partying. I mean, people can stay awake when you're out partying. It's a lot easier than sitting at a desk all day.
Driving a truck.
He is setting his own schedule. He's not coming
Yeah.
to work and having to, function.
Or watching an episode of EastEnders. All that stuff puts you right to sleep. So.
Well, and to me, it's a really interesting. It's an interesting time of year to be talking about this because we're coming out of the new year of the holidays, and we probably haven't been sleeping at least in a good pattern routinely. We're not eating well, and then it seems like everybody is sick. Talk about getting vaccinations. People are kind of running out to get the H1N1 vaccinations. We're really excited to have these quick fixes, shove a shot in our arm, and that'll keep us healthy and safe. And yet, what about all the stuff we could have done to prepare ourselves for this season, and then we wouldn't have to do those kinds of things?
Wash your hands, eat good food, and get some sleep.
Why is this so difficult?
And they're cheap. Those are all cheap.
Yeah,
things to do.
sleep is cheap. But throughout the right before Christmas, it was really busy at work, and I needed to get a lot of work done, and so I ended up just going buying like a box of like Tylenol cold and flu, and then just powering my way through it. And it wasn't until actually after Christmas, because I came back, and then like last weekend was the only time that I was actually just sat down by myself and got sleep, and like throughout the day, throughout the night, and I came back on Monday and I was like, holy smokes, I feel so much better just having like gotten extra sleep and then just taking more time to drink more fluids that are probably non-holiday fluids, put it mildly, and eat some good
too.
food. Yeah.
See, I kind of see both sides of it because part of me is like sometimes when you have a cold and you are sick, you can't fall asleep, right? You can't lie down, you can't breathe, you're drowning in your own goo. So like you take medication sometimes, like Advil cold and flu will knock you out, like you are done, and it lets you get that sleep for your body to recover. But on the flip side of that is what I get from not sleeping, and when I know I haven't had enough sleep is because I get migraines. I get Mickey Mouse hands, they get puffy, and my vision goes, and I know it's because I'm exhausted. So it doesn't
I
matter
just
how
assumed
much.
that Mickey Mouse hands were like from your figure skating days, and
Well, I just keep them for fun. But I have to
different,
go.
okay.
I have to. I know. Like I can't take any medication. I know what I need to do is just shut off all the lights and just disappear. Right.
Right.
Like sleep.
But I think most people don't do that. I think most people do what Rudy does. They drug themselves
Well, they do
up
that.
and they get to work and they continue to.
And the thing is, it's kind of a bad cycle too, because when you lose more sleep, you're more tired, and so you don't actually want to like make a good meal or anything. You're like, I'll just have some crappy food, whatever. So you go to McDonald's more. You go to like you just it's a vicious cycle that you just kind of start. That you have to kind of pull yourself away from and say, no, I need to unwind. I need to do this and that.
So many things go to the wayside when you're sick, right? You don't want to do laundry, so then all your I'm gonna say goo
You
again,
stink.
gets on your clothes, so all those like viruses like stick around. You don't want to like change your bedding. You just want to like lie in filth until eventually you get better.
Sounds like a great place to visit during January. Don't go to Blair's house in the month of January.
Sounds like an episode of Hoarders or something.
Well, we
yeah.
probably need more heroes in our life. That's what we're going to talk about when we get back from a quick break.